Hi, everybody. It is Essence. So excited to be here. All right. So I'm just getting settled in here. Kind of had a little hectic start. If you can hear me, please type in the chat. Let me know. Do we have a chat here? Let's see. No. We're going to be getting started in just a minute. All right, so do you guys have your pen and paper ready? This is going to be really good. I'm really excited. All right. Anybody who has ever taken one of my classes or been to any of my circles in person, they know I always have my clipboard here. I'm just going to check the sound. Just give me 1 second. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. So my friends are saying that the sound is great. Okay, because I was trying to listen to it on my end and I can't hear it. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, now I can hear it. Now I can hear it. Okay. Awesome. So I'm hoping everybody has their pen, their paper. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I can see the chat on my phone, so that's awesome. I can't really see it from my computer, but I will keep checking it. So feel free to message any questions, and I am going to take care of those pretty much towards the end. So I like to give an overview of what we're going to do before we actually dive in to do it. So first, we're going to do like a new moon prayer and kind of sage, and I'm going to clear my space and I'm going to send it to you energetically. I'll let you know a little bit about who I am. We'll talk about who our goddess is that's overseeing our new moon ritual. And, maybe you can carry her into your everyday life. She's definitely somebody I've been working with. And then we'll get into the ritual. We'll talk a little bit about things that may be blocking your manifestation from coming in, as well as I've had a few people submit questions to me, and then towards the end, I'm going to answer some of those questions. But I do want to make sure we get the ritual done just in case we go over and anyone has to leave. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So, for those of you who have some sage, I want you to go ahead and bring out your sage. I always like to just take like a leaf most of the time because it burns the best. And with, again, a lot of times before I do my spiritual work at home, before I log into a call with a client, I like to like clear my energy and just really get myself centered. So whether you have sage or not, just imagine that this sage is all around you, clearing your energy field, clearing your aura. And that from here on out, we are just in a total space of peace and oneness. And just imagine as though we are all in a room together doing this ritual. And just feel the strength of your sisters. Feel the support. Because although we're not all in one room, we are all together. So far, there's 35 of us here online. And thank you so much, all of you, for being here. And with that, we'll go ahead and go into our new moon prayer. O moon, as you are hiding tonight beneath the thin veil of the skies, biding your time, I sit in anticipation of your radiant beauty. Soon you will reveal your silvery silhouette, once again mesmerizing and enchanting the world. O goddess of the sky, on this magical night, I sit with you in quiet, gathering my thoughts and reflecting on all that I desire. With your rebirth, I wish to reawaken old promises and bring forth new dreams. I wish to plant seeds in the garden of my life and watch them bloom in a bed of magical colors. As I walk toward your new cycle, I honor my spirit and body, embracing the gift of breath and the covenant of truth. I pray to live a richer life, one of love, laughter, and faith, one of wisdom, service, compassion, and good health. I pray for my soul to know its calling, its yearning, its truth, always as I connect deeper with spirit. O enchantress of the skies, I surrender to you as I walk toward a life blessed with grace, with newfound hope in my heart. I sit with you, embracing beauty all around me, honoring the silence of my quiet mind, the joy of my heart, and the breath of creation itself. Patiently, I await. And I now call on our angels and our guides and ancestors and those of white light who walk with us. I ask you to encircle our circle. And I open myself up to your divine wisdom and guidance. And I call on Goddess Kali, Divine Mother Kali. Kali, I welcome you to our circle, to our ritual. And I ask you to guide us as we open our hearts to bring more love into our life, to be love and to live love. And I ask you to show all of us what may be blocking us from creating more love in our lives. And I thank you for gracing our circle, our ritual with your presence. And so it is. The new moon happens 2 weeks before the full moon. And it is a time of rebirth, renewal, setting new intentions. So it's the perfect time for a love ritual. So the new moon is actually tomorrow, but it's You can harvest the energy of the moon either the day before, day of, and the day after. So you have like this 3-day window. So if you want to take some of what you learn here tonight and do another ritual on something else tomorrow or Saturday, go right ahead. All right. So, who am I? I am Essence Turner. I am a radical forgiveness coach and a shamanic shadow practitioner. And so basically what that means is I help women heal and release the wounds of abandonment, rejection, betrayal, shame, all of those, what we call like negative emotions. I help women bring them up to the surface and release them so that they can create love or abundance or peace or happiness. Because as you know, when you carry those low vibrational emotions around, you don't feel your best. It's hard to be happy. You're acting out your wounds in childhood and relationships. You attract people who vibrate on that same low frequency. And so what I do, I help women release that so they can be more of themselves and raise their vibration so they can attract more high vibrational relationships or situations or circumstances in their life. And that path started for me because I needed healing. I spent a lot of years as an alcoholic. Basically, I say like I was a borderline alcoholic. And the only reason it's borderline is because I didn't go to AA, but I should have been in AA. I have been drinking since I was like 15, and in my 20s, it was really bad. Like I would drink to the point of blacking out, not remembering things. And what I didn't know is I was like hiding and masking pain. And I used to cry all the time, like the Essence getting Essence drunk crying again. But what I didn't know is it was just like there's a lot of deep pain there. And I had abandonment issues from my dad not raising me, and they played out in my relationships. And I just spent a lot of time just unhappy and like avoiding really feeling and dealing with stuff. So I drank. And about, I guess like 5 years ago, Spirit started leading me down this path of like self-help, self-healing. And it kind of, I would say it came out of nowhere, but honestly, back in 2005, I went to massage school to be a massage therapist. I didn't follow through with it, like get my license, but I guess some of those holistic principles like were that seed was planted, but I definitely didn't go down that road and any of that. Like I was just a regular person going to take massage school. But as I got older and like my hurt became more present, Spirit started bringing things to mind. And I'm like, oh yeah, we watched The Secret in school. We watched What the Bleep, and I just started following this path. And then a psychic told me I was supposed to be a radical forgiveness coach. And I just listened to that wisdom of hers, and it really resonated with me. And that's where it came to my understanding that I had abandonment issues and they were playing out in my relationships, like men who couldn't commit, men who were already involved. My boyfriend in high school, my first boyfriend, even he had a girlfriend. So like that pattern of dating men who couldn't commit started back like in high school, and it's just repeated throughout my life. And but the desire to have a healthy relationship is what really drove me to continue doing the work on myself and paying for healing and coaches and books. And I had this deep desire to like love and be loved, because all of my relationships before were like, I wanted something for him. I'm looking for a man to take care of me. I need a man to do this. And then they just like wanted me for my body, or just to really just like to be there, in hope that I'm there when they go out running the streets and be back. And I'm like, that's not a real relationship. But what I understood was there's something in me that keeps attracting those men that can't commit, that don't want to commit. There's something in me. So if I want to see something different showing up in my life, I got to heal something within me. And when I really understood that, that is what has driven me to continue my growth and to just keep getting better at what I do and who I am. And so I spent about 2 years just doing healing. And then I was like, at where you are, this place of ready to manifest love. And I'm going to go a little bit more into like what I did as we go into the ritual. But what I want to tell you is when I started to do the ritual, I did a lot of forgiveness work first and healed everything with my dad. And me and my dad hadn't spoken about 7 years. But about 4 months after I came to a real place of forgiveness, he reached out to me. And out of the blue, just reached out to me and promised he would never leave me again. And we remained really close and good friends for 4 years until he just passed away this year. So doing this healing work and the forgiveness work, it gave me 4 beautiful years to get to know my father. And then after I healed my relationship with my dad, that's when I entered into my relationship. And now that's been 4 years of like, I feel like I have such a wonderful relationship. We just moved in together, and it's like every year it gets deeper and better. I used to think that the longer people were together, the more they like didn't like each other or got on each other's nerves. And that's not the case. Like we just grow more connected and deeper. And I really love him. And I feel so blessed and honored to have him as like my partner. And he's like my spiritual guide too. Like it's just really beautiful. And so I'm like, okay, I want to help more people get to this place where they can attract something happy, a happy and healthy relationship into their life. So that is what brings us here today. I'm going to get some water. Okay, so, and then I'm just going to check this chat too. So just bear with me here. Okay, I see everybody saying hi. I can't believe I cannot see it on the computer. Like, God is just crazy to me. Okay. And then somebody emailed me. Let me just make sure they can get in. Okay. So, who is our guiding goddess? That is Kali. Kali, I have been working with her and her energy and vibration since the summer. Like I had goddess circles and everything this summer, and I started connecting with the different goddesses from Doreen Virtue's Goddess Guidance deck. And I kept pulling Kali's card all the time. It says endings and beginnings. The old must be released so the new can enter. And I'm like, yeah, that's really all that I've been doing. And that's what my work is about. So I think I just want to continue to work with her. And as I'm going after things in my life and my business, I've just been calling on Kali to assist me. I just completed a 10-week radical forgiveness course that I taught. And I like worked with Kali on all of that, like called her energy to bring in the women to join. I had 8 wonderful women. I called in her energy to help me create the outline. And anything, like if I felt like there was a block, I would just ask Kali, show me what the block is. Show me what I need to heal within me so that this could happen. And I did a lot of healing over the summer as I was preparing for that 10-week class. She just kept showing me what things were preventing me from drawing in people into my class. There were some limiting beliefs. And they just kept coming up to the surface, and I was going and getting help to release them. Some things I could do myself, but sometimes when you have something really deep embedded, you might need help because your ego wants to protect you and won't let it all come up. So Kali, the card, it says, do not fear what appears to be a change or a loss. It is only that transitioning orbit of energy interplaying with you and your loved ones. Embrace it as evidence that you are alive. Embrace your deepest emotions as a signal of your true human essence. And again, as the old must be released so that the new can enter. And I just want to say there's so many women I see, like, we've been through a lot of stuff and we have that old baggage hanging on, but you don't want to let it go. But as long as you're holding on to that, new and better cannot come in. And so that is really what she is about. The old must be released so that the new can enter. So if you know you have stuff that needs to be released, call on Kali. Maybe watch some videos or read about her to maybe kind of tune in to her energy. What it says in the book is Kali is an ultra powerful Hindu goddess. She is feared by those who do not understand the natural cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. Kali is the embodiment of Mother Nature, who cleanses away the old with natural storms and fires to make the ground fertile for new crops and life. Kali is the ultimate get things done goddess, and she is a really powerful ally to those who call upon her. Like a wise stage mother, she will push you beyond your comfort zone to reach the heights of your potential. And so Kali really is a badass. She's like a dark goddess. If you even look up pictures of her as a Hindu goddess, she's like standing on a man. She got his head in her hand and her tongue is hanging out. Like, she is really bad and really fierce. And so if you're somebody who's like, no, I don't really want my stuff to come up to work on, then don't call on Kali, because she will show you what's there in the darkness, in your shadow, that needs to come up. And so some of that stuff may need to come up so you can attract your true love. But if you don't want that, don't call on Kali. But for those of you who are ready to get serious about releasing and letting go, but maybe not knowing where to start, then, or what to work on first, then I would say call Kali. All right, so we are here today to do a little magic, a manifestation ritual. And so make sure you have your pieces of paper and your pen ready. So what I'm going to share with you, the ritual that we're going to do, I did a few different manifestation rituals when I was ready to attract love. So basically, I was like, I knew a lot about the law of attraction. I felt like my energy was in a really good place because I had done a lot of healing. And I felt like I would call in a healthier relationship than I previously did. So when we talk about manifesting, basically what it is it's having this idea or this vision that is in your head, in your mind, in your imagination, and you want to make it real. You want to bring it forth from in here to out there. That is a manifesting, bringing something from the invisible realm to the visible realm, to the physical world. That's what manifestation is. So for instance, this is the book that I use. It has many different prayers. And so what I said was, one day, I want a book of prayers. I want to start praying more, but I want like universal spiritual prayers, not religious prayers. And I was like, okay, so that was my intention that I was setting. And then a couple days later, when I went to my shaman classes, it's at a metaphysical bookstore. I'm there all the time. And just so happens, I'm walking past the shelf, and all of a sudden, this jumps out at me, right? This book, Miraculous Silence, A Journey to Illumination and Healing Through Prayer. I manifested it. I could have walked right past it. Somebody could have bought it. It was the only one, but I set an intention for it and it showed up. And so, just like with my relationship, I was single. And so I started doing, I wrote out some things like I'm going to guide you through. And then I started visualizing, and I started feeling the feelings of what it will be like to be with a man that I love, and just give him love, and him just give me love, and that being all that I wanted from the relationship, just to give and receive love, right? And so I wrote letters. I would go to the park and sit on a bench and pretend, like close my eyes and pretend he's sitting next to me and we're holding hands. And about a couple months after just being consistent with doing this manifestation work and really feeling the feelings, it started to unfold. So I already knew my boyfriend. He's my computer guy, and I've been friends with him for years, but I didn't see him in that light. Like he was in the friend zone. So when after a few weeks of doing my visualization, his face started showing up. And I'm like, God, what are you doing now? And I like literally like woke up and shook it off. Like, no. Then it kept happening. And then I said, well, maybe Spirit is using his face because he's familiar, or I know him, and that, that just, he's just like a place setter or something like that. So like, that's what I was thinking. And then all of a sudden I started thinking, well, what if I'm just in the way? Like my thoughts that we're just friends is just maybe keeping me back from something God is trying to push me towards. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop resisting and just see what happens. And so it was like organic, and I watched it unfold. So like we went from being friends to, let's say he was over fixing a computer, or sometimes he might just visit throughout the years, but he's sitting on one couch, I'm sitting on another, like that kind of thing. And then slowly, like we would sit on the same couch. Then I remember like we're sitting on the couch and then our hands touched, right? And then one time I was having some shoulder pain, and then he's like, let me give you a massage. And I let him massage me. And like, that was like the moment where I started feeling like maybe we are starting to come together. And then we started working out together and hanging out together and like looking at each other differently. And it really just like, it unfolded so beautiful. Now of course, he had no idea that I was like doing manifesting and that kind of thing. And I never like wrote out his name or anything like that, like trying to draw him in. So I just let it happen. And like I said, it's been 4 years and we're still together. And I feel like I'm happier than I was even in the beginning. Like I said, it just keeps getting better and better. So that is what manifesting is. It's about seeing, having this vision in your mind and bringing it forth, right? Following your intuition, your guidance to help that manifestation come forth. Because had I kept fighting that image and fighting and like, no, that's my friend and all that, we would not be here right now, right? So you set the vision, you set the intention, and then Spirit and Kali will start speaking to you subtly through your intuition, or maybe through a song, or maybe through someone else. These signs and things will come, but you have to follow them. You got to listen. You got to really be like obedient and listening to the guidance that's coming through. So if something is saying heal, do it. If something is saying stop talking to that one boy who don't mean you no good, cut him off. Like as these things start bubbling up to the surface, as you set your intention, follow it. Follow it, follow it, follow it. All right. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and get started with this ritual. So I want to make sure that we're done. I'm just going to check the chat. And you guys, feel free to put in any questions that you may have. Okay. So before we do this ritual, I want to say this because somebody asked me, can you manifest a specific person? So for instance, let's say you work with Jonathan and you think he's so handsome and he seems like he would be a great boyfriend. Can you, when you do your ritual, write down like, I want to manifest Jonathan? And no, you cannot. Like that is pretty much, it's my opinion, but I think it might be like you might find more information backing it. But let me tell you why I look at it like this. Because we are doing magic, and I feel like and magic is just another word for manifestation and using the invisible forces, the universe, our energy to bring something into our reality, right? And you don't have the right to play with somebody else's free will. So when you are visualizing and you're doing rituals, you're bringing energy towards you. You don't have the right to bring the energy of somebody else towards you without their permission. Like that's manipulative. Like I wouldn't do any kind of binding spell or none of that stuff on anybody because I believe like that karma comes back to you. So when I was early 20s, I was in an abusive relationship. So, and I've learned all my lessons and everything, and there's been a lot of forgiveness there, but I don't want to be back with him. But what if he was doing a ritual and he had my name on it and he was calling my energy back towards him? And then now I start to start thinking, because we're all connected. So then I started beginning to be pulled back that way, where I'm like, I wonder what he's up to. Let me look him up on Facebook. I wonder what it'd be like to call him, jeopardizing what I have going on. Like he has no right to call my energy towards him. And so that's what I want to say to any of you that have that question. Can I manifest my ex or this person or that person? And no, you don't have the right. You would not want somebody to do that to you. So we respect people's energy. Now, what you can do is look at the traits and qualities that you like of that person and write that down. Call that energy to you. And if spirit wants to bring that exact person into your life, then that will happen organically. Or there will be someone who has those qualities that's a totally different person that will come into your reality. Does anybody have any questions or anything to say about that? All right. So just type in the chat if you have any questions about that. But I just wanted to make sure that that was clear before we moved on to do our ritual. So we are going to have 2 sheets of paper. Okay. So on the first sheet, I want you to label it like sheet A. I want you to, or just an A, but I want you to put an A on it just to distinguish between the 2 papers so we're not getting confused at all. Okay. So I'm just trying to give you a second to get your paper. And what I want you to do Looks like my handout is out of order. Hold on. What I want you to do on sheet A is I want you to think back to your last two or three relationships, right? Your last 2 or 3 relationships. And I want you to write down what you did not like about those relationships. So, how did that person treat you? Right? Maybe just focus there for a second. How did they treat you that you did not like? So, maybe he spoke down to you, or he cursed a lot, or could have been abusive in some way. I want you to write down what you didn't like about the way how he treated you. And I say like last 3 relationships, but it could just be one. And if you've never had a relationship, which I've spoken to several women who have not, because they might be different ages, or some of them were in school and that wasn't their focus. So think about somebody in your life or that you may have witnessed and how you would not want to be treated. So for instance, if you witnessed your brother-in-law yelling at your sister, then, write down like you don't like being yelled at. I just want you to really think about what you did not like about the relationship and how he treated you. So just write 3 or 4 of those things down. I'm going to give you another moment. And then I want you to write down anything that maybe you didn't like about him specifically. Like maybe he stayed out too late, or maybe he drank too much. Maybe he worked too much. Maybe put you second. I want you to just think about just different things, more so about him this time that you did not like. Maybe he was rude. Okay. So, and then this is, I'm sorry, my hair is getting on my nerves. Okay, so this is still something that you can do a little bit more of even later. So we're doing this ritual today, but that does not mean that you cannot continue on doing this like discovery work or adding to your ritual. Maybe you don't pull out the same sheet of paper, but you can still do it separately, okay? Because for some of you, some stuff might be coming up and you want to dive, deeper into it. So just keep in mind that you can come back to that. Okay. All right. So just giving like 30 more seconds just because I want you to really just think about those things. Okay. All right, so now that you've done that, I want you to set sheet A to the side. Set sheet A to the side. And then now I want you to pull out another sheet of paper and just put B at the top. I'm just going to check my chat here. Thank you, Christian Nicole. I'm just going to check my So check the chat. Okay. So now we want sheet B. And if there's anybody on here who want to manifest something else besides relationship, like a, you know, money or a new job or something, you can still follow along. Just substitute man or relationship for, you know, that other thing. Okay. All right. So we have our sheet B. And so let me see here if I can draw at all. Let me see. Let's see. I don't know if I can. All right, so I'm going to describe this. Well, no, maybe I'm just going to draw it. Okay, so I want you to make a circle directly in the middle of your paper. Mine may not be in the middle, but try to get it in the middle. And I don't want it to be that big, maybe just like the size of this, right? And then I want you in the middle of that circle to write, don't write yet. I want you to write my soulmate or my true love, my husband, whatever feels like the right wording to you to represent what you're calling in. I want you to write that down. So, for instance, I'm just going to write my soulmate. Just in the middle of that circle. Okay. Now that you have that done, I want you to make a line almost to the bottom. We are making a stick figure to represent our man and or woman. I'm going to always say man, but just know that this applies to anybody, you know, like a woman wanting to manifest a woman. So, you know, never mind the verbiage. It's all still the same. Okay. But maybe you might want to draw her some hair. Okay. All right. So we have our soulmate right here on this paper. Now what I want you to do is I want you to draw. I'm going to do it first. 5 lines from his head right here on whatever side you choose. Just 5 lines with a little bit of space in between. And so what, I'm going to just give you a second to do that. I'm going to get some water. Okay. Okay. So now on those lines, what you're going to do is you're going to write 5 words to maybe describe him, So this can be physically. So you might say tall, dark, handsome. You can say educated. I don't know, because I want it to be physical. And you can say fit, right? Whatever you want. Just take a minute to write 5 words of how you want to, what you want to call in. Let's just say like physically. And then I'm going to just draw my other lines. And so basically, you're writing those things on the lines. Okay? So like I wrote tall right here, I wrote dark right here, and you're going to continue to fill that in. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear, but that's what you're doing here. And then for those, once you do it, I want you to do the same thing. I know he's looking a little crazy. You can draw yours a little more artistic. Like mine looks like hair, like he got electrocuted, but it'll still work. Okay, so over here, when you get to this part, I want you to write what personality traits do you want him to have, like his character. You know, is he kind, thoughtful, compassionate, good communicator? Like those types of things. I want you to just take a moment. And what you can do is look at that other list that you created of what you did not like, and then write the opposite here. Right? So if the guy was rude, you know, you can write kind. And we got a few more spaces to write things. So and if you come up with more than 5, go ahead and add them. But I want you to think about what personality traits and characteristics are most important to you in a mate. Okay. And so I'm going to draw some more lines here. And I want you, so I just drew them like right here down by the arm. And I want you to write down how you want to be treated. A lot of women I speak to, they say, you know, they want to be treated like a queen. Okay, so you can write that down, or you know, you write down what fits you. How do you want to be treated? You know, maybe treated with respect. Maybe you want him to open the doors for you. You know, so I want you to just start writing that on this side. Just gonna give you a second. I need some more water. Oh. I'm about to text my boyfriend and ask him to bring me some more water. Okay. And then on this last side, I just drew them over here. On this last side, I'm sorry, I want you to just think for a moment, like what would make this relationship better than all of the rest? What would make this relationship better than all the rest? Maybe you guys travel together. If he got along with all of your family. Like again, look at that list that you wrote of what you didn't like, and then add to that. I'm just checking my chat. Jasmine said hers is a big head. I hope you got room. You left room to write. Yeah, type in chat. Let me know how this is going for you, how you're feeling right now. Okay. What would make this relationship better than all of the rest? Right? I know some of this might be a little bit uncomfortable for some of you because you might be like, geez, I hadn't thought about this. Women that I speak to and I ask them like on a call these questions, they're like, dang, I never thought about that. You know, so again, you can go back and just do another ritual and just add these things, add more to it. So don't feel like, you know, oh, what if I forget something? I don't want you to think like that. Okay. And then then anywhere still just around like his energy field, we want to do another few lines. I'm going to push you. I want you to do another 7 lines. Now, is it okay if you still got some space up here? And yes, this is not like rigid. My only request is that you keep it like within his energy field. So I would prefer if you did everything on the front sheet of the paper and not on the back. But again, I don't think it makes that big a deal. But anyway, so if you don't have any room, just make sure you have 7 spots somewhere. And what I want you to do is to write down 7 like words of feelings that you want to feel with him. Yeah, that's it. Think of feelings. Like, how do you want him to make you feel? So you could write, let's just say, sexy, appreciated, thank you. Right? How would you like to really feel in this relationship? You know, where if you're talking to your girlfriend, you're just like, girl, he just makes me feel so valued and loved. And like, what do you want to be telling her? Okay. Now this is getting juicy. This is really important. I'm going to just talk while you write and think. As far as feelings, because like attracts like. So if you want in this relationship to be feeling sexy and appreciated and valued, you got to start embodying that now. So maybe now, you know, is it that you dress a little bit sexier, or maybe you wear nice sexy lingerie under your clothes? Like, what right now would really make you feel sexy, or any of those things that you wrote down, right? Start thinking about that. Like, how can you begin to start feeling like this now? Okay. I'm going to do some drawing while you guys, do I have my, yeah, maybe you can see this. I'm going to do my drawing while you finish up your 7 feelings. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to draw some arrows towards him. That's what that is. I try to do it with a different colors. So you want the arrowhead going into his energy field, and I still want you to have a line where you can write on it. Again, it's okay if it's kind of going in between anything that you wrote. Like if you needed to insert, you know, the arrowhead here, like that, that's okay. But I'm pushing you and saying do 7 of those arrows, and I'm going to tell you what to write. Okay, so this is what you are going to give to him. That's why I have these arrows going into his energy field. What are you going to give him? So many times when women are wanting to manifest or call in relationships, you think about what you're going to get. What are you going to give him? What is he getting out of the deal? What are you offering him? What are you bringing to the table? So that's what I want you to write on this line. So for instance, right now I'm going to make him feel appreciated. I'm going to cook for him. I'm going to run his bath water. I'm going to massage his feet. He's going to get my thoughtfulness. I'm going to show him compassion. Right? What are you going to give him? What are you going to show him? What are some of your good qualities that he is going to be getting, that he is going to be receiving just from being with you? So many times when I ask a woman this question, they're like, "Oh, I never thought about that." It's so important. Christian Nicole said, I wish y'all could see how many lines are coming out of this stick man. And then say he's a very special guy. Yes. And just as things are coming to you, make more lines and add more things. But I really do want you to give some thought to, geez, I did not know it was 8:57, you guys. Oh my goodness. I said it was only going to be till 9, but the ritual itself may go over till about, let's say 9:10, and then we'll probably be on here maybe another 10 minutes. So we're going to start to close this up. So that is what I really want you to do, is to feel that in of what you are going to give to him. And even after today, just really start thinking about what you have to offer this man. What should he be so excited about receiving from you, where he's on the phone like, my girl, she makes me feel like this. She does this for me. Like, wouldn't it be so amazing if he was on the phone saying that to somebody? You're on the phone talking about what he's doing for you. Like, it should be that way. It should not be one-sided. One person giving all and the other one just taking. No. Okay. All right. So we have our soulmate here, all his qualities, right? And what we're going to give to him, what we want our relationship to be like. Okay. So now I want you to set sheet B. The stick figure, our lover, is B. Set that to the side. Okay, so I want you to set that to the side. And pick that other sheet up, sheet A again, pick that up. And I want you to just maybe later again, just reflecting on what has shown up in your past relationships, the way you've been treated, the characteristics and things about him you did not like. And I want you to start thinking, what in me could have drawn that person in, called that person in? What in me? So sometimes it might be the thought that I'm unlovable, or I'm not worthy, or my abandonment issues brought this person into my life. So when we talk about uncovering what has been blocking love, or what could keep love out, like these, diving into your old relationships can really help you to see things that maybe you didn't want to see before, and really leave you some clues. Okay. All right. So now, though, we're done with sheet B, right? So what I want, sheet A, the one about the guy. So what I want you to do now is to take that sheet A, the one about the old relationships and what you did not like. I want you to tear it up. And as you tear it up, say, I released you. I let you go. I release you. I let you go. No, thank you. You are no longer wanted. Good riddance, right? Tear it up. And feel free to burn it after we're done, or just throw it away, whatever you choose. For now, just set it to the side. I have this cute little cauldron that I burn things in. Okay, so that is done. That is over with, at least for today. Right? So that part is done. We're gonna leave that there. And so now what I want you to do is I want you to pick up your soulmate. And I want you to just take one last look of everything. And it does not allow your intuition to guide you on this. I'm going to say fold it up and put it in an envelope. But if you feel like you want to keep it out and add to it, you can. You do what you feel you're being called to, because I have this urge in me that somebody is like, I don't want to put it up. I want to keep on doing this. And if that is what lights you up, I want you to continue doing that, because I'm feeling a strong urge not to guide you to fold this up. However, if something within you feels like this is complete, I'm ready to seal up this ritual, you can do that. Either way, what I want you to do now is to hold him to your heart. Now, you can hold him just like this. You can fold him up in your envelope and hold the envelope to your chest, whatever you want to do. Either way, something should be at your chest. Okay? And so what I want you to do is to close your eyes as you are holding him next to your chest, making sure your hand is on your heart. And I want you to just repeat after me. I am worthy of love. I am deserving of love. I am lovable. And I have lots of love to give. I am worthy of being loved. I am deserving of love. I am lovable. And I have what it takes to give love. And I want you to just hold this to your heart as I read this prayer about love. Close your eyes and hold him close to your heart. We all come from divine love, and thus we are love. Love is what sustains us all. Understanding this simple truth is key to opening our arms and embracing all that is. It is with love that I come, and with love that I shall leave. It is love that I offer, and love that my heart craves. It is love that awakens my soul, and love that quiets my mind in sleep. It is love that ignites my spirit, and love lost that I grieve. It is always love, the divine gift from you above. All we need to follow, all we need to practice. One word, perfect, simple, universal, all-encompassing, love. And as you hold him close to your heart, I just want you to send love from your heart. Just imagine your heart chakra opening and this green or pink energy beginning to flow from you. Think of a memory, a happy memory, something that brings a smile to your face. Maybe it's a child or a pet or a trip. It doesn't matter. What brings a smile to your face? And project that smile outward from your heart. And just seal that in to this ritual. And And when you're ready, open your eyes. All right. So this is, you can set this to the paper. I'm sorry, to the side. If you are done with this, you can put it in your envelope. Now, from here on out, I'm only going to talk about it being in an envelope. So when you're ready, put it in an envelope, preferably before Saturday, before the full moon ends. And maybe just kind of do that again just to reconnect your energy with it before you put it away, if you wait till like Friday or Saturday. So for those of you who put this in an envelope, sleep with it under your pillow for 7 days and just put your energy into it, right? And, and as you sleep with it under your pillow, maybe you're laying and you're touching it, and just imagine him being there with you. And do this for 7 days, just infusing your love into this ritual. Now, after the 7 days, some people burn their rituals. It's again, this is something I will leave for you. I don't remember. I know that I had mine under my bed for a while, but I had it in a special container. So it wasn't like I just tossed the envelope under my bed. So even if this is going in your closet, maybe you get something, or maybe you have a jewelry box or something that this is where this can go. Like a pretty box or a bag, like a little gift bag even, and put it under your bed or in a closet. Just keep this somewhere sacred. And even if you add to it, if you do other writing rituals, maybe you then put that in that, bag or box as well. But again, if you feel the call to burn it and give it to the universe, you can do that. I'm just going to give you those options and allow you and your intuition to decide. Okay. What did you guys think about that? Tell me. I'm just going to look in the chat here. See, so I'll be looking again in just a second. Okay. So what could possibly keep this guy from showing up? So from what I see is people still not listening to their intuition and healing certain things that may need to be healed. So I'm going to give you an example. So years ago, there was this woman and we were speaking, and she was divorced and she had not been on a date in years, like a date. And so I asked her, I said, well, what were the men in your life like? And she was like, they were all mean. They were all effing mean. My dad, my uncles, my grandfather, they were all mean. And she was like, even my ex-husband. And I said, your inner child, intuitively, I'm like, your inner child is like, hell no, I don't want another man in my life at all. Like, no, thank you. I said, so there's still some healing that needs to be done, because if she's saying that all those men were mean, that means they did certain things to her, to your child self, that needs to be healed and cleared out of your energy field so that your inner child can feel safe and start to have a different perception of relationships. And so we did some visualizations, we didn't even go really deep. And a couple days later, she got a date. Out of the blue, this guy asked her out on a date at a bar. She was at a bar, which she went to all the time. She said nobody ever approached her. So just a couple days later, he did. They went out on a date. And maybe a week later, she got a phone call from a girl, his girlfriend or somebody. So the funny thing is oh my God, something opened up. I got a date, but I still need to do some healing because I called in a situation that I did not want, right? So that is an example of there needing to be some things to be healed for that healthy relationship to come in. Because when you think about a healthy relationship, that means you need to be healthy emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You are two halves coming together. Your half of the street should be clean. You're not bringing in your baggage and your wounds like I used to bring in my abandonment stuff. This guy I used to date, even in my young years, when he would go to leave, I would throw myself up against the door. I'm like, no, you can't leave. If you leave, you don't love me. Like, look at all that baggage. That was all of my abandonment stuff and not wanting him to leave me. Right? And he probably thought I was crazy as shit. So we do things not even knowing that they're like because of our wounding. Something else is that deep down you don't feel worthy. You don't feel good enough of a relationship. Maybe your parents talk down to you or your siblings even, and you don't feel good about yourself. You'll attract men who reflect that back to you. And then I also see there not being this faith and trust in the universe. So like asking for something, doing all of this, and then that's never going to happen. Doubting it. Right? You can't do that. It's like that blind faith, that trust, that in divine timing, when I do what I'm being led to do, maybe you don't have any healing, anything that needs to be cleared. Maybe you just need to start putting yourself out there and you haven't been doing it. You've been a hermit. Maybe, that means for you, intuition says to go on a dating app or start going to like socializing at networking events. Then you need to listen to that. When you set this intention, it's not going to go ignored. You don't get what you want because you're not listening to the signs and you're not taking action on what's coming through. That's why you don't have what you want. And then when you're pulling in relationships and your gut is saying he's not the one, you're not listening to that and you're still dating that same guy that you know is not the one. So in my Facebook group, I'm going to start doing meditations on Sundays for this very reason, to start helping you get more connected to your intuition so you can listen to your guidance. So I'll send a link to my group. So if you want to join and start doing these meditations, you can, because like that's what my whole journey has been about, is like one thing unfolding because my intuition gives me guidance and then I take action on it. And that same can be for you. Like that's all of our path. Going a little deeper into emotional healing, emotional baggage, I'm going to be doing a webinar on December 16th. I'll send you an invite to that as well. And you can sign up for that. And we'll go into what is emotional baggage, how do I release it, to help you call in this relationship from a different energy, from a different space, or whatever you want to call in, or raising your vibration. We're going to talk about releasing our past wounds and our baggage. So I'll send that out to you. Before we go, I want to also talk about how to recharge and revitalize and keep this energy of your ritual going even after today. So one of the things that I did was I wrote letters. So I pretended like I'm already with my man and he's on a business trip. So I write a letter like, I had so much fun with you last week when we went out dancing after dinner. I just loved how you held me and how you supported me when you dipped me. And I really loved when we had breakfast in bed the next morning. Like I just would make it real and make it up. And as I'm writing, it just would feel real. And I felt those emotions and it felt good. Right? So that's another way to like keep putting energy into your desire. Not, oh God, where is he? Where is my man? That's not the energy. That's the energy of doubt. Right? When you're writing as though it already happened. That's that energy of joyful expectation. That's where you want to be. I used to visualize sex scenes and it would be all hot and steamy in my imagination. And I'm like, oh, right? Getting in that feeling of what it would be like to be with him. I also wrote letters to the universe saying, thank you so much for this man because he this and he that. And, you know, again, just making it feel really real. I'm so glad you brought him into my life. You know, he makes me feel like this. Or I would write to him and say, thank you for those flowers you sent me at work. Oh, Amanda was so jealous at work because her man didn't send her flowers. You know, I really made it real. When you go shopping, go in the men's section and like, oh yeah, I would love to get him this. And then write a letter. I saw this shirt at Macy's that I'm going to give you. Like, make this fun. You don't want it to be about waiting. You do your work on you, whatever needs to be cleaned up in your life. You know, maybe you want to get healthier. Maybe you want to learn to cook some things. Like, you do you, still do you. It's not about waiting, but then you still take time to energize your desire. And most important is feeling the feelings, not just words. You don't want to just write words. You want to feel the feelings. It's really the feelings that pull things to you. That's what the universe is matching, is your vibration. So as much as you can be in that love and joy vibration, you're in the right place. That, oh, where is he at? Desperation, loneliness, that is just going to perpetuate your situation. Trying to see, is there anything else? Yes, most important. What you wrote about him that you're wanting, are you those things? Are you in vibrational alignment with those things? So if you wrote, I want him to be kind, are you kind? And I'm not just talking about being like doing kind things here and there. No, I'm talking about vibrationally. Are you a kind person or are you a bitch? Are you mean, rude, moody 90% of the time? If so, don't be asking for somebody kind and compassionate and thoughtful if you're not being those things, if you're not living that vibration. So I'm not saying erase those things, but what I am saying is start to become those things, start to embody those things. I'm just looking. Yes, she says that I will continue to write to him during and after this experience, and on one of our anniversaries, I will read them with him. Yes, that is so beautiful. When me and my boyfriend were moving, I found letters, the letters that I had been writing years ago. And I was like, how crazy. I haven't seen these letters in like 4 years, but I'm going through my stuff and moving. And then as we're coming together, I see these letters that I wrote calling him in. So yes, beautiful. Another one, this, he needs to be rich and making 6 figures and all of that. Well, are you rich? Are you making 6 figures? What can you do, even if you aren't rich financially? In what areas are you rich? What area? How can you be more rich? You're not in this, and you're not saying, I want a man to make 6 figures so he can take care of me. That's not the energy of a goddess. Like, if you're saying, I want him to have this, it's maybe because now you guys are going to be equals. You don't need a man to take care of you. And honestly, it's like the universe isn't even supporting that energy anymore. So those of us who saw our grandmothers and things being taken care of by men, they had totally different situations where there was inequality with them working and being able to provide for themselves. So the universe provided for them through their men. Us, We wanted our, generations before us wanted our independence, and we have that now. We do not need a man to take care of us. You don't need another, like a father, right? So when you're thinking, calling in these things, are you those things? Why is something important to you? So I say the money thing mainly because what I've heard before, like, I'll just give you an example. So she didn't make much money, but she wanted a man who made six figures. The guy who was really trying to get into her, I think maybe, let's say, made like $50,000. But she was like, no, he don't make enough money. Seemed like he was a really genuine guy. But she was wanting a guy who made more so he could take care of her. And she, year after year, shows up single. You have a better chance of getting what you want if you are going after those things, if you are embodying those things. Like attracts like. And then this list of having 80 physical, he need to have a six-pack, he need to have a this, and then you get that, and he's like a shitty person because you weren't calling in any of those like really deepful, soulful qualities that make a relationship. Like, does he communicate with you? Can you sit down and have a talk about feelings, right? Without him saying, man, you crazy. Really think about what makes a beautiful connection, relationship. What makes that? It's not, tall, dark, handsome, a size 12 foot, like I want you to put more thought, soulful thoughts into this. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't say that later, but as I was closing my eyes and tuning in to what needs to come forth before we get off of here, that just came through really strongly. Okay, keep messaging the chat as I go. Okay. Allow your friends. Okay. I think. Oh, questions. So anybody who needs to go, we are done. We finished the ritual, but I still have some more goodness. I'm gonna go till 9:30. If I have any questions in the chat, I'll answer them. But I had a couple people email me, so I answered the first question where the woman wanted to know, can she manifest a specific person? And then this woman says, I have a question, please. A man has been in and out of my life the past 5 years. Again, it ended over a misunderstanding. He is very guarded, but we said if it didn't work this time, then there was no coming back. I'd like to know if this guy will ever take me seriously, love me, and feel for me the way I felt for him. I know he doesn't treat me right. I wasn't a priority. It's all on his terms. Times just need to know if he would ever be in touch, as it was always me chasing him. Okay. I'd like to know if this guy will ever take me seriously. So the way that it's coming through is just a question. What has he done to show you that he's going to take you seriously? Over the past 5 years, if you made a list, write out what he's done to show you that he takes you seriously, that he values you, that he appreciates you. Make a list of those things. And you can even put a year, like in what year did he do these things over the last 5 years? In over 5 years, I want you to see, is this good enough? Is this showing me that he is taking me seriously and that he values me and that he appreciates me? right? Sometimes I have this feeling that you already know the answer to this. So if it were me and I were in and out of a relationship with a guy for 5 years, and then I was determining whether we were going to try it again, I first would say, what has he done to change himself this time around? Has he gone to a Tony Robbins workshop? Was he drinking, but now he stopped drinking? Like, what changes has he made to make you think that this time around is going to be any different? I definitely believe in giving people chances. I don't know how many chances, but what I'm saying is, if somebody is like actively saying, I want another chance, okay, I'm going to go to anger management, I'm going to go to therapy, I'm getting help to be different, then that's different. But if this person is still doing the exact same things and no changes are being made, that relationship is not going to be any different because he's not capable of being any different. He's still showing up doing and being the same thing, so his behaviors and actions towards you are going to be the same. So I want you to really, and of course I could be wrong, but like that's just what is filtering through me. When you look at your list that you created, does he fit this? Is he capable of giving you this? Have he brought this to the table over the last 5 years? If he hasn't, do a release ritual to start letting him go. We cannot change any man. A man has to want to change himself and move from want to actively doing it. You cannot change anyone, not a man, not your mom, not your dad. You got to learn to accept them exactly as they are, exactly how they are showing you that they are. And if you cannot accept them in that way, then you can distance yourself. But you can't change a person. You'll drive yourself freaking bananas trying to change somebody else. You don't want anybody trying to change you, right? Making you feel like something is wrong with how you are. So you don't do that to others. If you need to remove yourself from that situation or from their company, then you do that. But you don't have a right to change anybody else. Whew, okay. Number 2, what if your divine partner is someone from your past? Can you draw them back into your life when you are unable to contact them? And then this goes back to what I said about a specific person. Because especially you're unable to contact him, you don't know where he is in his life, who he's with, what he's doing, and you don't have a right to call him back into your life. You just don't. And then if things, a lot of times when things aren't working out, when you release them and let them go and physically, emotionally, and mentally disconnect from them, now there's a space there where something brand new can unfold. What did Kali say? The old must be released so that the new can enter. Stop holding on to these people and things that did not serve you, that don't serve your growth and your depth and your love. Like, stop. Love yourself more than that to keep accepting what's been showing up that is not working out. Sorry, that's an alarm saying shut up. Okay, it's 9:30. But I just really want to leave you with that, like what you've been settling for. Do you want to continue settling for that in 2013? Do you really? You probably don't. Oh my God, I'm in the past. I'm in 2019. Do you still want that? No. When I stopped dating to work on myself, I was in I had been seeing this guy on and off for almost 10 years. And he was like this ladies' man and just got a different woman. And we were like friends with benefits, but I really had feelings for him. And I was really hoping like one day, like he chose me. And then I saw that that was never going to happen. And so although I loved him because we grew up together, meaning we started doing this when we were like 23, and it carried on for 10 years. Like we grew up through our 20s together. So it was hard to let him go, but I'm like, this is bullshit. Like I deserve better than that, and I can't call in something better as long as I'm hanging on to him. So I had to just man up and say, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to go out with you. Like nothing. And I did it. And life is so much better. My relationship is so much better than those breadcrumbs that I was getting from him. So you have to decide what you want, what you deserve, and actually stick to that. I did not have sex until I was in a relationship, and not trying to manipulate my boyfriend, but it was like, if you want to be in if you want to have sex with me, I'm only having sex with somebody I'm in a relationship with, like, period. Because I knew what I wanted and I knew what I deserved. And I was willing to lose what was unfolding to hold on to my virtue. I gained it back. You know what I mean? So sometimes some tough decisions have to be made to get what you want, but you are worth that and you deserve that. All right, so I'm going to leave on that note. I feel like that's a really good note to leave on. I'm going to check the chat as I'm saying this. Join my group, and if I have any more words of wisdom pouring through on this topic, I'll, go on a group and make videos. Again, I got that webinar on the 16th. We're going to be doing some emotional releasing. But yeah, it was so beautiful serving you all and being here with you today. Thank you so much for signing up and showing up. And I would love if you email me or Facebook me and let me know what you thought about this. I'm still coming out of my shyness and putting myself out there online. So I would love your feedback because that helps keep me going. I think I want to do 1 or 2 of these a month, either a new moon or a full moon, but showing up and doing one of these rituals with you all. So again, let me know if that's what you would like. All right, so those of you who are ready to go, you can go. I'm still looking at the chat. Jasmine says, self-love will mirror itself back to you once it's attained. Absolutely. That's my experience. The more I love and respect myself, the more it's returned to me in my relationship, and the more love and respect I can give to him. You can't give what you don't have. Like all the years that I didn't love myself and I thought I was loving somebody, that was not love that I was given. It was really I was just seeking to get some kind of validation from them. Now I really know what love is, but I had to have it for myself first. Christian said, this was so fun. Jasmine, thanks for your guidance tonight. Blessings, everyone. Christian said, yes, no breadcrumbs. You deserve better than that. Get the whole pie, boo. All right, guys, this was fun. I will send out the replay. Invite anybody to the group. We can continue having fun and talking about this. I look forward to hearing from you. And love and gratitude, goddesses.